I think everybody knows me. I don't need to introduce myself. Today, quick constitutional minute, but have to bring to our attention an insidious bill that is another resolution to put to the vote of the people, a constitutional change, and this time it's to our gun rights section in the Oklahoma Constitution. It is HJR 1034, and the question that I know this room gets right is, are rights natural or inherent? Do they come from God, or are they gifts and grants of government overlords as they see fit? Right? Here is the problem. We have do-gooders who are of the mind that they need to adopt the language of the Supreme Court when the Supreme Court is in direct violation, blatant violation of the Constitution and our rights. HJR 1034 proposes to actually have in our Constitution that government will grant us rights, and only to a point and no further. This is what a section says in Section A. Part of Section A says the fundamental right of each individual citizen to keep and to bear arms in defense of his or her person or property, including handguns, rifles, shotguns, knives, non-lethal defensive weapons, and other arms in common use. Then it goes into ammunition and so forth. Other arms in common use. Can you use, under this proposed language, can you use a brand new invention? No. Can you use something that is less common use, like a bump stock, which I'd never heard of before Las Vegas? Could you use something like that? No. Who gets to decide all of this? The courts. The legislature arbitrarily. What do we say over and again in our Declaration of Independence? A criticism of the king was he was arbitrary in his actions. Arbitrariness is the mark of a tyrant. It is not a protection of right. In Heller, they say this is all language from the Heller decision where the D.C. Citizens got some rights back to carry arms. Well, in Heller, Scalia allowed handguns because they were in common use at the time. And Scalia is the majority opinion writer. So in common use at the time, he made a differentiation between dangerous and less common weapons. Those are not permitted. So when you adopt the language of the Supreme Court, where do you have to go in law? And we have a lawyer over here who could answer this. Where do you have to go in law for definitions? You go to the Supreme Court and their writings. Now, there is a problem, a further problem, and that is Section B of this deal, says that this section shall not prevent the legislature from enforcing or adopting narrowly tailored time, place, and manner regulations or authorizing political subdivisions to adopt and enforce such regulations to serve a compelling state interest. Okay. This is what is called scrutiny, judicial scrutiny. Judicial scrutiny, just so we can all understand, comes from a place where when the government violates the Constitution, the judiciary finds excuse to allow it and not hold them accountable. Every one of the scrutiny tests is to allow a violation of the Constitution, whether it be a violation of your rights or a violation of limitations, places that the government can't go. Like they can't take your children without due process of law, but they do because it serves a compelling state interest. Okay? They're now going to do this, and they want it in our Constitution to do this to your weaponry. any weaponry. And this is our friends. This is OK2A. This is David Bullard. This is other people who think this is the way you have to win things. So here's what we're asking. Go to the Constitutional Grounds website. I've written a whole article on every aspect of this. There are two asks that we're asking. One, I have shown in the article how to amend the bill to make it actually constitutional and get in the extra wording so that we actually have enumerated some more enumerations where the judges are less likely to just blatantly disregard what the Constitution says. But I have to ask this question. They blatantly disregarded it before. What makes us think they're going to do any different today, right? So that leads to the second question. If they will not amend it, then they must kill it. Because if this gets to a vote of the people and it passes, we are looking at decades of nightmarish treatment from the Oklahoma government until finally maybe our Second Amendment will actually be upheld. Because the Second Amendment is superior, but it's not being upheld, is it? So we are going to be in a world of hurt if this passes. And this is thought to be a good thing. And so our senators need to hear from you because it sailed through the House. 81 to 19. 81 votes for the bill to 19 against. And those 19 were all Democrats as far as I know. So we have a legislature that doesn't have a clue of what you know and needs to be educated. And so we're asking that you call Senator Treat's office, that you call David Bullard's office, he's the Senate author, and then that you call your senator. And if you go to the Constitutional Grounds website and find the page that I just had up, in the article, I tell you how to get a hold of your senator so you can find them. Okay? Are there any questions? Larry?
Assigned to the Senate.
It has not. Senate committee assignments will be a week from Monday because they take off the week of spring break, then they come back and give out the committee assignments. So watch Constitutional Grounds and our Facebook page because we will be updating, and as soon as we find out committee assignments, we just need to inundate them. And yes?
Will that nullify Nathan Dom's right to carry?
Yes, actually it will to a degree. To a degree. You will have the right, you will have the supposed right, so long as they deem it okay for you to have it. Let's go back here real fast. I hate to do this because I don't want to take too much time. But the fundamental right of each individual citizen to keep and bear arms in defense of his or her person or property and other arms in common use. As soon as you limit it to other arms in common use and nothing else, you have taken away a natural right and you've made it a gift of government. Okay? That is what this language is. Because if you can limit it, whoever is superior can limit the inferior. We are no longer looked at by our Constitution as equals, created equal. Because if they in government can dictate to the rest of us, it's no longer a right. Okay? Yes?
And why does our Constitution need to be tampered with anyway in regards to this matter?
That is the question. The argument is that because the judiciary doesn't follow the Constitution, and in the words of the proponents, they blatantly disregarded, where they just literally just ignored it, said, to paraphrase, don't care what it says, you don't have a right, that's what I'm saying, I'm the judge. And nobody did anything about it, so therefore they think that we now have to change the Constitution rather than deal with the bad judges and throw the judges in prison, prosecute them for their crimes against humanity. Instead of doing that, they want to change the Constitution because they think that this language will now line them up with the judiciary. So Anyway, I need to cut it.
He's talking about the Oklahoma Constitution.
Right.
This is the Oklahoma Constitution.
No, I'm referring to the state constitution.
The
Yep.
whole state constitution needs to be completely rewritten anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
That task force.